Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sorry for the no content the last few days. Sunday, of course, Easter Sunday, and then yesterday drove home and was just exhausted after the drive home visiting the family. But hey, got to catch the Oilers game last night. Game that I don't know how I feel about it because the score did not reflect how the game was played last night by the Oilers or the St. Louis Blues, in a matter of fact. And it was quite a tale of two stories for the Edmonton Oilers. We'll get into that, and we'll get into why are we trying to run this guy out of town? Like, seriously, enough is enough with these keyboard warriors. Welcome back to Gillis TV. If you're new to the channel, like anything NHL related, from news, trades, rumors, whatever, same with anything Oilers related, we got it covered here on the channel for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, as we are only 197 away from our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for all the support of us of late. Now let's start with that game last night. 2 disallowed goals, 1 allowed goal almost on the exact same play as a disallowed goal. It's really irritating when refs can't call a game down the middle and players don't know what's going to be a good goal, what's not going to be. So we're going to talk about the Evander Kane. That one is 50-50. It does look like it hits the stick, but really close to the hand, and then goes off his body. That one, okay. I will give that one to a 50-50 shot. The way the angles were, of course, Toronto has slower motions than what we see on TV. It's a hit or miss there, and they probably got it more than likely right where his stick was. We'll give that one kind of, it's a hard to tell one. Now let's go to the Nugent-Hopkins goal where Zach Hyman shot the puck while he was in the crease. His skate did nick Jordan Binnington's right pad. But if you watch in slower motion, that's the nice thing about my PVR, I could slow it down really slow. The 5-hole does not open because of Zach Hyman. The 5-hole opens because Jordan Binnington opens it, and when Nuge scores, he looks up to the sky like he knows he messed up. But St. Louis challenges it, and because it's Zach Hyman, of course, it gets called a no-goal. So at that point, I think it would have been 3-0 for the Oilers if they both counted 2-0 if Nugent-Hopkins first in 6 weeks counted. And then you go, okay, whatever. Then they go tie it up, and then the Oilers decide, hey, we're going to challenge one of Braden Schen's goals. I can't remember if it was the first or second one. It was a long day. Go and challenge it. The Skinner's pad gets pushed by the guy in the front because when you're, no matter what you're doing, if it's in hockey, if it's, you're just working on something, someone taps your shoulder, you get spooked because you're not expecting it, right? That's what happened with Stuart Skinner. Someone touched his pad. I can't remember who the name of the guy was because it's irrelevant right now. Touched the pad. Skinner was kind of shaken up, surprised, I guess you should say, not shaken up, and they call it a goal. How is that different from Nugent-Hopkins' goal? Tell me how. When Binnington, clearly, Zach Hyman's past Binnington at this point, he opens up his own 5-hole, no goal, but as soon as they touch, the reffing last night was terrible. I even asked a couple of my buddies if they've ever heard of 2-minute insta-game penalty for pulling someone else's helmet off during a fight. I don't think we've ever seen that one, to be honest. If we have, it's very minimal, and it seems like whatever the refs could mess up in last night's game, messed it up. Not complaining that the whole game was based off the officiating, but it was terrible officiating. No matter how you look at it from whichever team's point of view, it was really a terrible officiating last night. Now, let's go into the second part of this video. Why are we trying to run a guy out of town again? We've done this with goalie after goalie after goalie. He's not good enough. Blah, blah, blah. He's not good enough. Why are the keyboard warriors trying to take out Stuart Skinner now? The one I saw was Skinner couldn't steal us that game. Jordan Binnington did because we had more shots against. Cool. You could have 50 shots against a goalie, have 25 against yours, But it comes down to quality of chances, high dangerous chances. Some of the shots the Oilers are taking were just kind of throw on net, hope for a rebound, garbage goal. That's all it was. Considering some of the shots St. Louis was taking was actually high dangerous chances where Skinner made the save. And now we're talking about Stuart Skinner needs to steal us games. He is literally, as I go to his stats here, this year he's 33-14 with 5 overtime losses. Tell me how he's not stealing us games in that. He clearly is. That 16-game win streak, him and Calvin Pickard stole games for the Edmonton Oilers, and now we're back on, Stuart Skinner can't make a breakaway save. Stuart Skinner this. If you watch that overtime goal, Matthias Ekholm jumped too far up. You could see him flying by when the puck's going this way, and that's how whoever scored the game winner, I wasn't sure if it was Saad or Shen, whichever one it was, got behind them. It was a really well-timed change by the St. Louis Blues to stay onside, not get too many men, and Matthias Ekholm got beat. Not saying it's Matthias Ekholm's always like that. It's one instance where, probably the only instance where he's kind of messed up as an Edmonton Oiler, and not putting all the blame on him, but he can't be passing the puck one way and the puck's going the other way in a sense. But for everyone blaming Stuart Skinner, how many shots would you save if you had a guy coming in on a breakaway with seriously another guy right behind you that you could drop pass it to and you could save it? Not many of us could say we could save that in an NHL caliber game. So with that being said, it is what it is. Yes, Leon Draisaitl got robbed on that breakaway after his penalty, but in reality, we got to stop trashing Skinner. He's literally 33-14-5 for us this year. He's played, I think that's 20 more minutes or 20 more hours, more than he played last year. He is 25 years old. Will be 26 starting next season. Sorry about that. We got to stop bashing Stuart Skinner here. He's a rookie goalie still. He's getting his games in. He has a better goals against than what he had last year, and everyone was praising him when he wasn't even supposed to have the starter's job. That was Jack Campbell. That's all I'm saying about Jack Campbell, is it was Jack Campbell's spot to lose and he lost it. And now we're trying to run Stuart Skinner out of town because he's not stealing every game. If a goalie could steal every game, that team would be 82-0. That's fair enough to say. Did he get out goaled last night? Sure. Jordan Binnington stood on his head. Stuart Skinner made some really good saves. Same with Binnington. It was a really good game besides the officiating. And that's what it really comes down to. So, people who think, we can just blame Stuart Skinner, we can just blame Calvin Pickard, we got to think, how was the Oilers' defense back in the day? Is it better than, or is our defense better now than it was then? Oh yeah, 100% it's better now than it was then. But at the same time, we can't just be blaming the goalies. They're human. They're going to make mistakes. If for some reason people think Stuart Skinner should be laying in less than 2 goals a game and saving a .950 save percentage, that is not the NHL anymore. The NHL is more skillful. They are smaller in the pads on goalies. Like, they're making it harder on goalies, and you can see that with some of the goals goalies let in. And for the fact that people think, Stuart Skinner needs to play this elite edge goaltending for his second year, it's really hard to see a goalie come up, win a Stanley Cup in their first 2 years. Yes, Binnington did back in 2019 or whatever it was. And yeah, okay, he did it. But look at Matt Murray. Matt Murray's a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, and where is he? He's in Toronto as a 3rd, 4th string. What happened to Jonathan Quick? Old age, I guess you could say, with Quick. But goalies, just because they have good numbers doesn't mean they're elite. And that's the thing. It's all about team play at the end of the day. If you could play a team defense, your goalie will be better than if you don't. And we've seen that a couple instances over the course of Stuart Skinner's career where our defense is non-existent, but let's blame Stuart Skinner because he's supposed to keep the puck out of the net. I'm sorry. 1-on-0s, the goalie has a 50-50 chance of saving it. No matter who you are, you got a 50-50 chance, and Draisaitl would have probably scored last night against Binghamton if the puck didn't bounce. It did bounce a little bit, and he had to wait on his backhand shot, and it got Binghamton to go over more. So this is why we got to stop running Stuart Skinner out of town. And it's all the keyboard warriors on Facebook in my comments section. It's ridiculous. He's 25 years old. He's human. What were you doing at 25 years old? You weren't stopping a puck either. So let's just leave Stuart Skinner alone. He'll figure it out and go on from there. Sorry about the rant, but I hate when people try to put all the blame on the goalies. It's a team game at the end of the day. They are, let's put in oil field context for the Albertans out there. They are your last line of defense. How about that? Think about that. When you got that hierarchy, when you're out in the oil field, when you're out working, he is the last line of defense. So that's where it comes with Stuart Skinner. You got to stop bashing him. He's trying his best. He's human. We all make errors. Last night's game was a fluky one for sure with the officiating. But hey, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning in and letting me rant. I'm Gillis TV. Have a good one.